Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Melissa Geiger, and welcome to the Friday show, FSU Weather, the last show of the week. Currently 53 degrees and mostly sunny over Doak Campbell Stadium. A beautiful sunset setting up for tonight, but a little bit on the chilly side, and we're going to continue seeing that for this weekend. But our current temperatures staying around 50s for pretty much the entire area. A little bit cooler up north in Georgia, where we have 53 in Donaldsonville and 52 in Thomasville, and a little bit warmer down towards the coast, 57 in Tallahassee and 57 in Perry. And like we saw last week, we talked about last week, we did have rainfall, and we're looking at a similar pattern here again this week, which we'll talk about later on in the show. Increased chances of rainfall going into the weekend. But what's this random tornado doing here? It just popped out of nowhere. We'll talk about that later on too. But for tonight's show, seasonally cooler temps through the weekend, tornado safety, we have lots of fun facts that'll just blow you away, and weekend rain. All this and more is starting on FSU Weather right now.
Thank you for that, Melissa. My name is Chandler Pruitt. I'm a student meteorologist here. Also, thank you, Melissa, for giving us that awesome view of the tornado that we'll be talking about and covering some tornado safety. That's one of our biggest priorities. But our first priority is wishing Melissa a happy birthday, as this is her birthday. Well, actually, yesterday was, but we're still celebrating it today, as she is our favorite Friday personality. But for this show, we mostly are covering nice, beautiful conditions, but we'll emphasize some of that rainfall that we have in the forecast. That's something that we're looking into seeing starting up on Sunday. We'll continue to see a little bit more rainy pattern going into the week. And that's something to just keep an eye on because we've had so much rain. It can oftentimes lead to a little bit of flooding when we're not anticipating it. So that's something that we're just having to take a look at, and that's why the Weather Prediction Center has that risk out for us. But that's something that we'll be highlighting tonight, as well as tornado safety, because we're getting into that spring type of weather where we'll see more of those tornadoes and more of that severe weather. But we're not seeing that right now, and Evan's going to take a closer look at the local.
Chandler, and actually look over Doak Campbell Stadium. I'll step out of the way here so you can see that gorgeous sunset over the stadium right now. Currently 53 degrees, just some high, thin cirrus clouds out there, and that northerly breeze at 4 miles an hour is making it feel very comfortable. We also have nice low dew points, so it's not humid. It's very comfortable outside, so make sure you have any outdoor plans. Go out and do those tonight, because as we get towards Sunday into Monday, things will start to change. And I'll get to that more in the 7-day forecast here. But again, very similar conditions over the res. Again, I'll step out of the way so you can see that sunset. Gorgeous conditions over there right now. So again, take your boat out there on, I believe that's Lake Bradford? Yeah, Lake Bradford. So yeah, perfect day to do that. Again, at Panama City, another gorgeous shot. Those pinks and purples on there, on that camera over there in Panama City. Beautiful conditions, 59 right now, so a little bit warmer there as we head further west, but still beautiful conditions. Today in Tallahassee, we got up to 59, so that's below our average. So that's a change from what we usually see. And we actually did hit the freezing mark at the airport this morning at 32. I had to wear my winter jacket. I know, the guy from New York is bringing out his winter jacket in Florida. Crazy stuff, but still, we don't have any rainfall in Tallahassee. You can see there a little bit of a blip there on our radar. That actually might be due to a controlled burn that was performed earlier today from tornado damage from Wednesday's storm. So they had to get rid of that debris so we don't spark any unnecessary wildfires around here. So that's a good thing that they did that today. We actually see that from the top of the EOAS building here at Florida State. Current temperatures are in the upper 50s in Tallahassee, lower 50s as we head further to the north in southern Georgia. So it's very comfortable, thanks in part to these dew points. Very low. 22 is our dew point in Tallahassee. That's quite low, so it's not humid at all. It's very comfortable outside. So if you have any outdoor plans early tonight, you might want to do those again early, because it's going to get cold tonight, and there actually could be some patchy frost around tomorrow morning. And again, we could also freeze, so you want to bring on those sensitive plants indoors tonight, because you don't want those to get killed off by those freezing cold temperatures. But tonight will be mostly clear. There may be some high, thin clouds around, and then going into the day tomorrow, we'll get an easterly breeze with just some patchy clouds around tomorrow afternoon. So again, a great day tomorrow, so you want to get those outdoor plans out of the way tomorrow, because we'll be in the middle 60s, plenty of sunshine, just a few clouds, and then we get the rain back on Sunday. But tonight, we could freeze at the airport once again, and actually area-wide we could freeze. So again, be careful of any frost that may be around, partly cloudy skies, and those winds are calm, so a good opportunities for some radiational cooling, which is something we get in the wintertime around Tallahassee. But tomorrow will be much better, 65 and mostly sunny. I know Melissa likes those warmer temperatures, so this is a step in the right direction, and we'll have more steps in the right direction as we head later into next week. Melissa, I got to say, those temperatures for me are not appetizing for January into February, but I don't know, you like those middle 70s. Melissa's a big fan of those upper 70s. But Genevieve, are you a fan of those upper 70s?
Oh, I absolutely am. I know that I am from South Florida, and Melissa is from just close to Central Florida. So we, us Florida girls, we personally really like our warm temperatures. So I'm right there with Melissa on that one. But Evan, a little chillier. He's bringing up those really chillier temperatures that we're seeing here in Tallahassee that they're not persisting throughout South Florida, which we'll get into in just a second. But that radar is showing us nothing coming through northern part of Florida. But once we inch down there, we do see some showers heading towards Lake Okeechobee. Wow, look at that sunset down at Pensacola Beach. We can thank our beautiful WeatherStem camera for that gorgeous image, and all those beach houses, absolutely stunning. Currently in Pensacola, 52 degrees, mostly sunny, a beautiful sunset. Try to hit the beach if you can right now. As for our radar going across the panhandle, no real showers to look out for, really mostly ground clutter on our camera, so you can leave the umbrella at home, but us meteorologists, we like to keep it in the backpack at all times, just in case. Wow, okay, another beautiful sunset here we have in Daytona Beach, where Evan's brother actually goes to school. I mention this quite often because we love our students over at Embry-Riddle. If you are over at that amazing university, currently 58 degrees, mostly sunny, a beautiful night to go have dinner, go find your friends, go have a good night. And our North Florida radar, similar to up by the Panhandle, we're showing really no rain, so you should be good for the night. Make some good plans as well for tomorrow. And if we go a little further down south to Fort Lauderdale, so if you are taking a flight on out of Fort Lauderdale tonight, you'll be seeing a really nice 69 degrees, just below 70. So this is when the Miamians and the South Floridians really, in my opinion, they break out the coat and gloves and hat. I've witnessed all of it happen before. Now, further, as we go down the state into South Florida, this is where, things start popping up, get a little murky. We have just west of Okeechobee, we'll be having some showers going right on through Southwest Florida, as well as close into Miami, we'll get those showers by tonight, continuing in the overnight hours. Current temperatures, here we have those slightly chillier temperatures into the low 50s up for North Florida, but that just goes a little on upwards as we inch down to Miami. 68 degrees over by the airport. And those dew points are going to follow that warm temperature as well as really high dew points down the south. And those will decrease once we get to a 22-degree dew point in Tallahassee, so really, really dry up here. Dry as well as chilly, that's the story. But rain, we should be good for the night, so you will be having a really nice night here in Tallahassee. But Chandler, what's going on in the southeast? Are they going to have a good night to go out?
They will. And with all those sunset pictures that you've been showing me, well, now I understand why Florida is called the Sunshine State. But the southeast also has a little bit of sunshine. Charlotte, my hometown, looks pretty beautiful right now. Nashville as well. If you're trying to get out tonight and honky-tonk like Melissa likes to, definitely can down in Nashville on Broadway Street. Tampa also looking beautiful. And New Orleans looking pretty nice as well. So overall, beautiful conditions across the southeast, and that's reflected by this weather map. We have a high pressure system that's keeping conditions stable and sunny. We had that cold front that swept through early in the week, but now we're just sitting in nice, beautiful conditions. But that will change as we get towards sunny, not so sunny, Sunday. Looking at those current temperatures again, we have a lot of sunshine and beautiful weather across the area, 57 in Little Rock. A little bit cooler over in Charlotte and the Carolinas in the 40s. And then, of course, our friends down in Florida in the 60s, as always, a little bit warmer than everybody else. You can spot the high pressure system here with the winds that are kind of rotating in this nice clockwise direction. A little bit stronger over there in Dallas-Fort Worth and in Memphis, but a little bit calmer. We have that northerly flow here in Tallahassee with 5 miles per hour, pretty light breeze overall. 36-hour forecast, though, kind of shows that rain starting to get going. See here over in southeast Texas, we start to see a little bit of rain develop and we start to see a little bit of a frontal system formulate, and we're going to see a decent amount of rain in Tennessee to start off with, but that will make its way towards the rest of the southeast later on Sunday. As for that muggy cast, with the development of that system, we'll start to see those dew points increase, especially along that western part of the southeast, and we'll start to also get a little bit more muggy across the eastern part of the southeast. But right now, it has been dry, but we expect that to change a little bit as we get further on into the weekend. But for the weekend forecast for Charlotte, again, beautiful conditions overall, 59 degrees tomorrow. Sunday, we don't see as much rain as we do in other parts of the southeast, but that will change going into Monday and Tuesday. But overall, pretty beautiful conditions for the weekend. For Nashville, again, if you're trying to enjoy the weekend, go honky-tonkin' like Melissa, you can, of course, do so on Saturday. Not so much on Sunday, as it's going to be quite rainy, and the rainy pattern will continue Monday and Tuesday. But then we have Tampa, which will stay sunny pretty much for the entire week because they're nice and further south than the rest of our southeastern components. And then for New Orleans, we have beautiful conditions also set up for Saturday, but that will change again on Sunday. And then we'll have a little bit more lingering showers come Monday and Tuesday. But now, let's take a bigger, broader view of the national with Genevieve.
Yeah, so you kept mentioning honky tonk. We know Melissa and Chandler as well love their honky tonk. Personally, one of my favorite lyrics, a honky tonk down in Mexico from James Taylor. I don't know, I love that song. Give it a listen if you can. They're not having a honky tonk up in the Northern Plains and the Northern Rockies. Let's tell you that. We'll get into that in just a minute. But currently, the reason why we are having such really nice conditions here in the southeast and Florida is because we have that high pressure system hovering right on over us. And up, if I lean back just a little bit, here we see those low pressure systems that are bringing that precipitation, bringing the not so nice conditions for the people up in the Dakotas, Montana, and so on. We'll have that water vapor highlight the humidity and sorry, not the humidity, obviously the water vapor. Got to catch myself there. Really, we don't see anything too dry, though it is pretty moist. It's nothing too much, but it is giving way to those storms that we'll talk about in just a second. But those temperatures, 22 up in Bismarck, really not the most ideal conditions. If you're in LA, 62 degrees, that's really, really nice. I know they like to see some variety in their temperatures from the normal hot, dry conditions, but that's what you're getting if you are in the beautiful Los Angeles. And really nice conditions all the way through, really seasonable for the time, so that's really nice. The dew points are going to not give us too much relief across the country. We'll see Minneapolis as well as Albuquerque. They're competing for that chapstick conditions. That's some dry, dry conditions. So maybe keep a nice little candy cane chapstick is my favorite kind of chapstick in your coat pocket, your jacket pocket, as well as, some hand lotion. Because if you're using hand sanitizer, your hands get dry and so on. Speaking of really some odd weather, we have the high temperatures, and this is an anomalies map, so it's showing us where is really, really warm and where is really cold for this time of the year. And we see those warm, warm maximum temperatures going through. We'll see Kansas, Oklahoma, even Illinois, which is really, in my opinion, quite interesting. And those chilly, chilly minimum temperatures, so those lows are really quite low going through Arizona and into the southwest. And the drought monitor, we saw pretty warm conditions for this time of the year in Kansas, Oklahoma, inching into Louisiana and Arkansas, but they're in a little bit of a drought right now. So we hope that they can get some rain soon, but currently that is not the story. The drought monitor going here in Florida, if you inch just to the east of Tallahassee down towards Cross City, where we all drive up once we go up to Tallahassee for the semester and for our breaks. We're in a bit of a severe drought, so we really hope that that rain on Sunday can bring some relief to that. And that radar, currently beautiful here in Tallahassee, and the southeast where, like I said, we have the high pressure system hovering over us, really not too much. The northeast, you are seeing some snow, and if we inch across towards our friends in Michigan, you're getting quite a bit of snow, but seeming as the beautiful Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, and so on,
That's going to bring a lot of snow, as it normally does. Montana, Billings, Montana, you are seeing quite a bit of snow into the east. Please, if you are staying inside, do it. I would recommend it. And if you are shoveling snow tomorrow, use a lightweight shovel, as well as bend at the knees, not the back. You don't want to get injured. Southwest, you won't be seeing any snow. You'll be having some pretty nice conditions. And for the overnight, nice conditions. It's not something that I would say is too nice. 33 here in Tallahassee. Minneapolis, stay inside because you're at 4 degrees. Storm Prediction Center is showing us no severe weather for today, but that'll just not be so great for tomorrow. You might see some pop-up showers, but nothing to be too concerned with as it gets more severe going in through the weekend, and we'll see those temperature outlooks and precip outlooks look relatively nice for this time of year. Nothing too crazy staring at the map. But our beautiful Melissa, what are we going to talk about?
So you're probably wondering who Melissa is, but here, I'm back. I'm Melissa. So we're going to look at our rainfall here. We talked about last week that we did have that rainfall come through, and it brought some cooler temperatures with it, which we've seen all week long, and Melissa does not like cold temperatures. We've already talked about that. But we're going to have that same kind of pattern again this weekend. Day 1 outlook, not a whole lot going on. Day 2 is when we start getting that rainfall outlook over in Texas and Louisiana. We'll see that outlook continue to increase going into the next 3 days, seeing a higher chance of rainfall for pretty much this entire eastern coast Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Tallahassee. So hopefully that will be enough to maybe bring down our drought a little bit, but not quite reaching as far south as we would like. There's that storm system forming this weekend, kind of dumping most of the rain over Memphis on Sunday, and then on late Sunday, early Monday, that rain will be moving through the Tallahassee area, bringing us more rainfall and cloud cover into the weekend and maybe early into the week. Our models are showing a decent amount of rainfall coming up, 3 to 5 inches in Louisiana, which that can be a little bit dangerous down there. A lot of low-lying areas and places that flood easily, so make sure you turn around, don't drown, and take things seriously out there. But we're also looking at about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches for our area, so again, quite a bit of rainfall. And the Euro is showing some similar results as well, looking at a ½ inch to 1.5 inches, with most of the focus of the rain over in Texas. But Evan, what would we do if we had a tornado come up during this time?
Well, Melissa, we actually got to answer that question a few days ago. We had a tornado warning issued for the Tallahassee Metro on Wednesday. So why not do a little bit of an educational segment on tornado safety? Seems appropriate after the events of this week. So let's go over some of the basics of what a tornado really is. So tornadoes are violently rotating columns of air, and they stretch from the base of the cloud to the ground. Now, that doesn't mean that the cloud has to be, the condensation cloud doesn't have to be reaching the ground. The column of air does. So you might not see the actual cloud on the ground, but the tornado could still be on the ground regardless. Some of those tornadoes can cause severe damage to structures, and also, of course, cost lives. So you want to be sure that you're taking the necessary precautions, and I'll show you what some of those are in a second. So they can also become in just minutes. So there's not a lot of warning time with this. And again, some tornadoes could look like this. They may not always have a defined base here on the ground, so it may not always look like this. And you also may not be able always to see it coming because you don't have these open areas here. Like in the southeast, there's a lot of trees around, so you may not be able to see it coming. But a watch versus a warning. A watch means that you have the ingredients, basically. A taco watch, right, a good analogy. You have the ingredients for the severe weather, and a taco warning means that it's imminent. The taco is coming. You're going to eat the taco, so that means that the tornado is imminent. It's going to happen. So where do you go when a tornado does strike? Well, you want to go to the most interior part of your home. You put as many walls as you can between you and the outside, so you protect yourself against flying debris. And also, if you absolutely need to, cover yourself with a mattress as a last resort and put that hard helmet on. But Melissa, how are we looking around Tallahassee? I know you got some plans tonight, right, Melissa?
Yeah, we're going out dancing tonight, celebrating Melissa's birthday. So if you see me out there, say hi. I'd love to say hi to y'all. But tonight, having really nice sunset coming up. Maybe we can get a screen grab of that to look at later on. The beautiful sunset there. I'll move out of the way so you can see it. Currently 53 degrees and mostly sunny, as you can see on there. We do have a little bit of cloud cover in the upper atmosphere taking over. But nice conditions for tonight, although that temperature is going to be dropping. But we're seeing those nice sunsets pretty much everywhere. FSU Sports Complex, St. George Island, Lake Bradford, FSU Panama City. Some really nice conditions. For our local radar, nothing as of right now, but again, that will change going into this weekend, so you will have to keep a lookout as conditions unfold. Our current temperatures staying in the 50s right now. We're about to drop below the 50s up in North Georgia, getting down to 50 now. And again, that's going to drop. There is potential for freezing conditions tonight, so just be aware of that. If you need to cover any plants last minute, make sure you do that. And there's those temperatures. 32 Valdosta, 32 Thomasville, 33 Bainbridge, and these are the forecasted temperatures. So again, it could get a little bit colder than this. It could be warmer than this. So just make sure you're taking the necessary precautions. If you need to drip some pipes, make sure you do that. If you're able to withstand the cold, there's actually really nice stargazing conditions tonight. 40% waxing crescent, and sunset is already past. We just saw that beautiful sunset on Doak Campbell Stadium. So if you can withstand the cold, bundle up, go outside and enjoy the stars. Maybe you can see a shooting star or two while you're out there. Looking into the future, have that cloud cover coming in a little bit more on Saturday, getting increasingly heavy as we go into Sunday, and late Saturday night, early Sunday. And again, that rainfall will move through on Sunday. For tomorrow, highs in the 60s once again, so staying a little bit cooler for still being January, staying a little bit cooler, but not freezing temperatures, not for the daytime at least. Airport delays looking clear for right now across the entire country, so that's all good. If you're planning on flying out anywhere, looks like you'll be good to do that. For our coastal conditions, 63 in the air and 61 in the water. So if you plan on going to the beach, it's probably going to be a little cold. I know I went a couple weeks ago and it was warmer out of the water than in the water, so it was kind of weird getting out of the water. But some light winds coming through and pretty much no chop right now. UV index, of course, 0 because the sun isn't even up right now. Our 7-day forecast, again, we're going to have cooler conditions for the rest of the weekend, going to 30s tonight and 40s tomorrow night, with rain chances coming up on Sunday, 80% chance of rain. But then we're going to see a warming trend, getting it back into warmer conditions that we haven't seen in a little bit. I know I'm super excited for that, and we're going to have a great time. But Evan, what else do we have to talk about looking at sports?
Well, Melissa, I got to say, I don't know. Melissa, are you a big basketball fan? No? Okay. Are you a big football fan?
Closer.
Okay.
Not quite there yet.
Well, if I had to pick a sports team for you, it would probably be the Broncos, just because I know that you're in the equestrian club.
That's right.
Yeah, so there you go. So Melissa's team is probably the Broncos. Unfortunately, they are not doing well. But again, I'm going to go more into the NFL later on. But still, let's start with basketball. We have a game tomorrow night against Clemson. That's at the Tucker Center here in Tallahassee. Temperatures are going to be beautiful. I know Melissa's not going to like these temperatures. They're a little bit cool for her taste, but still very nice conditions if you are walking to that game tomorrow. Hopefully we can beat Clemson. Similar story for FSU versus Duke for women's basketball. I believe FSU women's basketball is number 24 and Duke is number 7, I believe. So, or something around there. But this is going to be a good game no matter what. Weather conditions are not so great, however. You want to make sure you bring that rain jacket with you or that umbrella with you for that game if you're walking back and forth between there. For the future, again, tonight it's going to be pretty clear. Again, a good opportunity for some radiational cooling around here, so temperatures could drop quite significantly towards that freezing mark once again tonight. So be aware of that. Want to make sure you bring in those plants if they are sensitive to the cold. Make sure, like Melissa said, drip any pipes if you need to prevent those from bursting because, again, we are getting into some cold weather. As for football, like I was mentioning earlier, we have the championship round, actually, not the divisional round, the championship round of the NFL playoffs. The 49ers are taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, my Giants could not beat the Eagles last week, and it did not make it better when the Burger King commercial came on after they lost. You know, Whopper, Whopper, Whopper. It's not so great. Not a good combination. But the weather looks fantastic regardless. Lower 50s dropping into the 40s by games. And the future radar looks good for the game on Saturday. There could be a wave of rain showers coming for Sunday, though, so if you have any Sunday plans there in Philadelphia, make sure you're bringing your rain jacket for that. We also have the championship round for the AFC, Bengals at Chiefs, a great game for Joe Burrow, potentially. Temperatures are going to be chilly, though, in the lower 20s and upper teens, and that future radar looks good, although there could be some freezing precipitation there on going into Sunday, so I want to make sure you're aware of that. But Chandler will take one last look around Tallahassee.
For Burrowhead, as Burrow goes and hopefully beats Kansas City. But local radar here in Tallahassee, not quite so crazy conditions. We aren't expecting exactly like that for Burrowhead and Kansas City. But right now, clear. Like Evan was mentioning, we had a little bit of convective plume over here in Apalachicola National Forest associated with a possible fire out there, controlled burn. We have some clouds that are expected to roll in throughout the evening and into the morning hours for Saturday, but overall it's going to be pretty patchy in general and no rain. So nice, beautiful conditions. Make sure you get out there and enjoy your Saturday. For the overnight forecast, again, beautiful conditions. We'll start to see a little bit of those cloudy conditions roll in, but overall quite nice. But make sure you have a jacket on. It's going to be quite chilly, especially for you if you're from South Florida. For that morning dog walk forecast, also we'll want to wear a jacket because, again, we're going to start out at 33 degrees. That freezing forecast, like Evan mentioned, could be an issue, especially if you have any plants outside that you probably need to bring indoors so that they don't die from the freeze. And also bring in Melissa because she also would die from the freeze. But we'll get up to 53 by 11, so if you can hold off there, you can walk your dog then. As for the Saturday drive forecast, well, looking like we're going to get to 62 degrees by 3 p.m., so beautiful conditions overall if you want to go out driving tomorrow, but probably don't need to do that on Sunday, so make sure you do that tomorrow if you're trying to get a little bit of that driving going. As for airport delays, well, we've kind of talked about how beautiful the conditions have been. So, of course, no delays here in Tallahassee, but that is also the same story across the nation. Overall, we have beautiful no delays or low delays across the whole entire nation. So, quite honestly, if you were trying to travel, this would have been a perfect weekend, or at least Saturday and Friday. But for tonight, also perfect conditions for stargazing. If you are trying to see some stars, of course, wear that jacket, though, because it will be cold. For the weekend forecast, again, we'll get to the 60s both Saturday and Sunday, but we start to see that rain roll in Sunday, so not so sunny Sunday, but then Monday we'll also see some more rainy conditions. But now I'm going to toss things over to the desk so that we can close out this beautiful Friday show.
Yeah, Chandler, so we see that rain coming in Sunday as well as a beautiful start to our beautiful Monday next week. But really, let's focus on the present, right? Tonight, it's really going to be nice conditions. We aren't seeing any rain in the forecast for tonight, but that doesn't mean it's the most perfect weather for someone like Melissa or someone like myself because we require warmth. We're like, you know, the opposite of iguanas. We are the iguanas, my bad. Evan, our good pal Evan is like the iguana because, you know, I don't know. Anyways, yes, it's going to be a great night to head out on the town, maybe into College Town. It's really going to be good conditions, but if you are up in the Midwest as well as the Northern Rockies, the Northern Plains, I will say stay inside because those temperatures aren't going to be ideal. But follow us on Twitter, and we might be retweeting some of that weather to come, as well as like us on Facebook if you want to connect with us or check us out on Facebook as well as YouTube. Hopefully you're watching us live now. You can also watch our past videos. I recommend Tuesday shows because they are the best, personally. Follow us on Instagram because I have been posting quite a bit on there, posting our beautiful TikToks. I would recommend follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather. Nikki Kanakis has been doing a great job over there. But we're going to send it off to the wall with Melissa one last time.